Let's switch up our noodles game. I know everybody can make noodles. That's all right. I understand that. But see, we have to switch up the way we make our noodles. Just incorporate more nutrients to it. And if you know on this channel, that is all I'm up for. Incorporating more nutrients to our food and also, trying up different recipes. Now, let me show you how I make my noodles the healthy way. Even though we all know that it's not so healthy, but let's scrap that. Okay, so in a pot of boiling water, I added my noodles. I allowed it to soften up a bit before I just scattered it and ensured everything entered the water so it can cook evenly. Okay, after stirring it up, I just covered it. I allowed it to boil up, and after a space of 3 to 5 minutes, I checked and realized that my noodles was properly cooked, so I just strained it and set it aside. Okay, so in the same saucepan, I added a little bit of oil. I used my spatula to just spread the oil around the pan because I didn't want to add so much oil. When I realized that the oil was evenly distributed to the pan, I introduced my egg. This egg, I just added a little bit of bell peppers and carrots. Okay, and I added little seasoning from the noodles. I didn't have to add salt. Okay, so you have to be very careful with your egg. Now, if you want a scrambled egg, at this point you're supposed to be stirring it up together so that everything can scatter. But if you want an omelette egg, which is what I was aiming at, you just allow it to cook up on the other side before you flip it over. All right, now when you flip this over, you want to allow the other side of it to cook, so you want to keep an eye on it as well while it's cooking so it doesn't get burnt. So you just keep checking and allow this to fry up for like 2 to 3 minutes. Remember, when you're frying, it doesn't take a lot of time. Now it's time for us to flip over to confirm that every other part of the egg is fried up, and as you can see, it's already golden brown, showing that it's properly cooked. So I just brought it off the oil. All right, now after bringing out this egg, I realized that the oil was fully dried, so I had to add a little bit of oil as well. For the sake of this video, I made use of olive oil. If you notice, I usually like cooking with olive oil just because of the benefit, but honestly, you can use any vegetable oil of your choice. Now I added my onions. I fried it, and I tried to allow it to caramelize a little. As you can see, I just allowed it to fry up a little more and allowed it to caramelize a little before I added my carrot. Okay, there's no specific reasons. I just love the flavor of onion in the oil, so I usually give it a lot of time to fry up. Okay, so now when I added my carrot, I stirred it up together as usual. I allowed it to fry up a little before I introduced my scotch bonnet. Note that usually when I'm trying to make this kind of noodles, I try not to allow my vegetables to cook up all through, so I give them few minutes to fry up before introducing any other ingredients. You understand what I mean? I try not to over fry them. I don't want them to get too soft. I still want to taste them very crunchy. All right, so once I put them on fire, I don't give them more than 2 to 3 minutes, and I just add up everything and bring it out. That way, as I'm eating it, it still feels fresh. Okay, now I added the seasoning from the seasoning cube, and then I poured in my noodles. I as well added my green vegetable. I used ugu. If you're not in Nigeria, you can use spinach. Okay, or you can as well use curry leaf or basil, because they are both good for this, but I prefer using ugu because I feel like I like the taste more than every other one. But honestly, you can use any vegetable of your choice. The aim is to just incorporate a lot of vegetables to our diet. Okay, now it's time for stirring. You want to do a lot of stirring. Take your time, stir, because this is time to incorporate everything you added together, your seasoning, your noodles, your vegetables. So you want to take your time to do a lot of stirring. Okay, now when you're stirring, ensure that everything just mix up all together. Usually, sometimes when I have bell peppers, I also add to this just to add a little more color and of course more flavor, but because I do not have, I totally skipped that part. So this is exactly how I make my noodles when I want to eat it guilt-free. We all know that noodles is not quite healthy, but if I must have it, I want to have it this way so that I don't feel so guilty. You see how the noodles look like? It looks like I'm eating veggies, but if you look well, you can see the noodles. You understand, right?